Well, hello, hello. This is Cindy Lee, your host over on Bucket List Coach Web Show Live, and we are also on growing your business through referrals. We'll see you here on the other side. And we are back. So this is Cindy, and I have my friend Evyn. And a little bit about the show. Bucket List Coach Web Show Live was created in 2017 when I started blogging way back from 2012. And this show was actually all because of Mr. Anthony Bourdain. I was a chef for quite a few years, over 20 some years, and I started following in his footsteps, talking all about my bucket list. So we have the day that we're born and the day that we pass away. That in between time, that is living the dash. And my guest definitely is living the dash. And of course, growing your business through referrals. It's a book where I teach people how to build those relationships, turn it into business, and be a strategic partner. It's really important to be the connector. So with this series of the book, I'm talking about adding abundance into your life. It's a whole abundance module where I get a lot of my friends that are in different avenues of business, and we come together as one in the book. So today we're going to be talking about International Guitar Month and Music Therapy Week. Music Therapy Week is the 10th through the 15th of April. And of course, you're going to celebrate International Guitar Month all month. So let's get right into it. Evyn Charles, how are you?
I'm doing well, Cindy. It's great to see you. And hopefully we'll see each other in person again soon. That the nice weather is spring has sprung. We're having some beautiful days, so uh, hopefully I'll be performing near you again soon.
Definitely. So I'm going to tell my story a little bit about World Music Therapy Week. Music is really, really important. And as a part of my ritual that I talk about in my book, to have a ritual, DMO, daily method of operation, every single day. And one of the things I like to do is just tell the universe and God that I'm grateful, another day of life. And the very first thing I do before I look on my book and before I look on my phone is I go to YouTube and watch either a funny video or watch something musical to really make a difference. And just a couple of days ago, we had our friends over at Private Eyes. They're a tribute band for Hall and Oates, and absolutely amazing to hear all their different stories. So, what does music therapy mean to you?
Music therapy is something that I became aware long after I'd already been playing music. And then I've been playing music since I was a little kid and for a living since I was a teenager. And so I've been witness to the power of music, the way that music touches people in a way that almost nothing else does. And that started when I myself was a teenager and I was touring for different resorts. And I remember one time I was playing and a little girl came up to me and she said, "You made me cry with your song, but
Yeah.
it was a good cry. So
Yes,
thank
I
you."
agree.
And so that was, and I myself was about 16 or 17 years old when that happened. And that really stayed with me because usually somebody tells you you made them cry. That's especially a young lady. That's not always a good thing. But in this case, it was great. And then over the years, I've had many people express the same thing as most of us who play music live. You see that you have a one-on-one interaction with the audience, and then later on, I kind of fell into playing music for seniors.
Oh, that's
And again, that was a happy accident. What happens, I play music in a lot of different hotels, restaurants, events, festivals. I think we met, I was playing music. I was opening for a comedy show on the
Sea
beach.
Lakes, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So all kinds of events. And then one time I was playing in a restaurant where there's a lot of seniors. It was a favorite of many seniors. So I was playing there every week, and I catered my repertoire. I love songs of every era, every genre. I'm a song guy, love good songs. And so I was catering my repertoire to the audience, which was mostly elderly people. And then someone heard me there and said, "Would you be interested in playing music during the holidays for different senior homes, and make a little extra money?" And I was very happy to do it. And at the end of the season, I had played 12 different shows, and it was great because, especially at the time, I, being a freelance musician, I could always use the extra money. And I said, "Well, this is great. I look forward to doing it again next year for the holidays."
Mm-hmm.
And that lady who I was dealing with said, "Why don't you do this year round? We hire musicians year round." So, little, I'd never known that until then. And so since then, I introduced myself to many other places. Now, long story short is now I play, in addition to all my other performances, I play about sometimes 2, 3 times a week in different senior homes, and including places where they have Alzheimer's, memory care patients, very,
Mm-hmm.
people that just start to need memory care, to people that are completely nonverbal. And that's
Yeah.
where you really see the effect of music, especially when you play songs that they grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is I might um, come into a room and um, start playing, and people who have not had a conversation, they've been nonverbal, but they'll start singing along, or
Wow,
nodding
nonverbal?
along
Are you
to the
kidding me?
song.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And then
Oh,
sometimes they'll
wow.
cry. As I was mentioning, that little girl who cried, that was a happy cry, because there's something about music that gets imprinted in your being, especially the music you grew up with.
Yes.
So and so that's one thing I've realized is most people love the music they grew up with. Now, you can love all kinds of music. I mean, myself, I started out playing classical music. Well, I didn't grow up in the time of Beethoven or anything like that. Neither did any of us. And I also really love a lot of current artists. I mean, it's great music. So that's got nothing to do with the merits of the music of its own. It just has to do with how the music you grow up with gets imprinted on your being, in every part of your being. It just becomes a part of who you are throughout your life. So that music, and you can think, anyone listening now or watching now can think of um, what I'm saying and say, "Oh yeah, every time that song comes on, it
Mhm.
reminds me. Every time I hear that song, it reminds me of making my first lifelong friends or great memories." So same thing with the seniors, or anyone for that matter. It just brings back not just memories, but feelings. It just rekindles your entire being.
Yeah,
So
like my first beer, my first kiss. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And music somehow has a power that is really stronger than almost anything else. So, because, also, I mean, uh, any form of art will do it, but, when you start to lose your senses, you still have music. Let's say, your eyesight goes or anything like that. So
Mhm.
then it might be harder to appreciate art, like, paintings. But music somehow, it's got one of the strongest effects. So that's my long answer to coming around to realizing that um, in a major way, what I've been doing is music therapy.
Yes.
Because I was approaching it in that way my whole life. And then I was introduced to actual music therapists and many other places where I play. For instance, some of the senior care facilities, they actually have now music therapists on staff. It's a relatively new field, compared to, being a musician or composer. So I was like, well, interesting. That's what I've been doing, and I didn't realize it's music therapy. So it's I really enjoy that part of it. Superimposed to just it's more it has more of an impact than just playing my little songs and having people order another beer because they say, hey, this guy's pretty good, let's listen to it. I had that happen last night, actually. I was like, yeah, well, yeah, we're gonna leave, but how long are you here? So I'm here for another hour. Okay, we'll stay here
Yeah.
for another hour and we'll order more food and drink. So of course the restaurant's very happy, and that's a fun thing to do. But it's not that profound. But when you realize you're actually affecting people, you're part of their life. So that I was talking about the seniors,
Hmm.
but it's the same thing if I'm playing somebody's life event. A wedding, a celebration of life. The birth of a child. The music becomes, as long as you um, play the appropriate song, that fits that particular family or person. It really has a real impact on the whole celebration.
Wow, that's crazy that you say celebration because it's important to celebrate every day.
There you
There
go.
you
And
go. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There's my guitar. So it's this one is an international guitar. It's a Yamaha, so it's a Japanese guitar.
Yeah, you want to play a song?
I'll play a song for you. I'll do one of my songs called. I'll do a little bit of it. If
Okay.
you lived here, you'd be home now.
Okay.
When the mist rolls over the island and the fishing boats are sailing the bay, I think of you chasing your freedom and how it's always getting away. There's one big ocean between us and a deeper still ocean of pride. We send emails and digital pictures when we should be by each other's side. If you lived here, you'd be home now. So come to where you belong, with nothing but love and peace of mind. If you lived here with me, you'd be home now. You'd be home now. You'd be home now.
Woohoo! Dang. Well, I can feel my heartstrings like, woo!
Thank
That is
you.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's just
that's
a
one
little
of
taste
my.
of what people
Oh,
can hear from you.
oh,
Wow.
thank you. I'm sorry. I was. I thought you were done speaking. Sorry to talk over you. Yeah, that's one of my original songs. I have. I think there's a link on my website. I have what I call my starter kit collection, which I call Soulful Beach Groove, which is also
Mhm.
what I describe my music as. And so that song is on there, and, along with 11 others. And I believe there's a link on my website. And if not, I post a lot of my original music on a site called soundclick.com. So
Yeah,
it's
very
not,
cool.
there's a very famous music hosting site that sounds a lot like that, but it's not that one. It's not the one about the cloud. It's the one about the click. So it's soundclick.com. and you just search for me, Evyn Charles, the way it's spelled, EVYNCHARLES. And that song is on there along with many others. And you can also stream or download that collection of songs I was talking about. I believe that collection is also available on Spotify, maybe Apple Music.
Okay.
But if you go to SoundClick, I actually get a little bit. It costs you less, and I get a little bit more. So it all works out better.
And that's really great because in the book where where we talk about the Bunsen chapter and adding more abundance and music therapy and guitar month,
Hmm.
I also have the end of the book for YouTube, or we can put your Spotify or anything like
Sure,
that for people to start following you and seeing where you're at. So are
absolutely.
you doing NorCal or just SoCal?
I'm doing well. Okay, so let me backtrack on what you were just saying, or expand. If you just take a note of my name, so everything is linked on my website.
Hmm.
But if you want to find me, for instance, on YouTube, is just go to youtube.com and slash Evyn Charles, or just do a search, because I try to make it as easy as possible. Most everything, including my Instagram, will be listed under my name. Sometimes Evyn Charles Music, but even if you just type in Evyn Charles, it'll fill in the other part. So if you're looking to find out more about my music, then that's where you can find me. I encourage you to. Instagram's pretty good because I mostly keep it to my music.
Hmm.
My website really has the links to everything, including my schedule of public performances. I do travel. Um, I'm based in the Los Angeles area,
Hmm.
on the west side of Los Angeles. I'm actually in a very convenient area, so I could easily travel um, to a wide range of places, which is why I started living where I live now.
Exactly.
I'm in Culver City.
So is there anything else you like to shout out to anybody, and then we'll close out with a few more questions.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank you for being
Thank
such a
you.
positive, energetic force. I'm proud to know you. Very very happy to see how you've since we've known you. We met, like I said, I was playing music at a comedy show. I was the musical guest for a show, and that's where we met. And you were very complimentary, and I've enjoyed watching you grow into quite your own unique
Thank you.
personality. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd also like to shout out to all the other artists and dreamers out there
Mm,
who really put in all the time and effort. Because as most people know, most of us that do music or art and or dance or anything and manage to make a living from it, it's not an easy way to go, and it takes a lot of hustle,
yes.
and a lot of effort, and it's long hours. But I know, speaking for myself and many others that I know, we wouldn't do anything else. So I would like to really encourage all my fellow troubadours and artists, and give them a pat on the back, and way to go.
Yes. Oh, the last question. I always ask this. So, what is the one thing that you would do to pay it forward to a random stranger?
You're putting me on the spot.
Of
Uh,
course. Quick thinking.
yeah. I don't know if there's one thing. I think the one thing is the state of mind.
Hmm.
I and here's one thing about me, because I have I don't know if it's why that is. I do um, a lot of, or at least a fair amount of, for instance, volunteering, and I help other people, but I never really like to talk about it too much. One of the things I was very proud of doing is during the COVID lockdowns, and when everyone, I lost all my work, and many, it was we all remember because it wasn't that long ago. So I did volunteer with a food bank called Nourish LA, and
Oh,
I
wow.
was doing
Very
that
nice.
every week and sometimes more. I first got introduced to them um, the second week that they started. It was started by a young woman and her friends out of their garage, and they were basically taking surplus food from places like Trader Joe's, who's a big donor to them, and
Mhm.
restaurants and other places, and redistributing it to people who needed it. And
That's
that came in really handy, especially during the shutdowns, because if you remember, you'd go to the store and the shelves were bare. You couldn't find anything. And then somebody like myself, we didn't have any work anymore. It was a hardship. So I enjoy doing that, and I will do. And now, it's I've gotten too busy again to really help out much with them. But that's
that's
just
very
one
good.
one example. And by the way, they've grown a lot. So to pay it forward, a lot of times I even had a couple of young men at my gig last night, and they were very interested in how I uh, do what I do. This said, one of the young guys, I think he was probably 12 or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
How did you get? He said, "How did you get so good?" And because I'm
Mhm.
interested, so we were chatting a little bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
so you inspire someone every
yeah,
day.
so I
Yeah.
spent time, on my break chatting with them, encouraging them. Uh, Ironically, it was a family from Huntington Beach,
Oh,
and they
really?
just happened to be at my gig in Redondo Beach, and
Mhm.
and Huntington Beach is where we met. Anyway, so I'm always, I'll stop if somebody has a question. It happens a lot. People will ask me for advice um on things, or my opinion, or even simply I had one of a lady who was a customer at a place where I play, and she's well, I've always wanted to play guitar, and
Oh,
I
yeah, bucket list,
but
there you go.
right, exactly. So
Mhm.
so I helped her, in picking out the guitar, and maybe now I myself don't have time to teach anymore. I did it for a while, and I enjoyed it, but I just don't have time to teach. But I recommended some things she could do, and helped her with what kind of guitar to get. I basically, I always take the time. I figure
Yeah.
um, even if I'm very busy, because I am very busy, I figure I could take, a minute or two, and let's say it gets, I do have to go. It's okay. At least I stopped, and maybe we'll figure a time to have a little more extended conversation. But I basically never go like, oh, sorry, I'm too busy right now. So, I'll always stop, say, yes, what can I, how can I help you? And it happens quite a bit.
That's amazing. Wow. So we're going to close out. And so my piece is it's National Humor Month. So for National Bucket List Day, we're going to spend 4 or 5 days in Las Vegas. We're going to attend a comedy club. So anybody who is listening
Nice.
here, if you want to join us in Vegas and you subscribe to the show, and also make sure to subscribe to Evan Charles as well. If you go to the show notes on this broadcast, you could actually see his link, his website, and his YouTube. And then also, it's National Brunch Month. If you are in Vegas on the 27th, which is also National Prime Rib Day, I will gift you a meal ticket to Esther's in downtown Las Vegas. So go ahead and shout out your website and we'll close out.
Nice. Well, it's evancharles.com, which is my name. And Evan is spelled a little bit differently. So instead of an A, it's got a Y. And as a friend of mine came up with this little funny thing, since it's humor month, The Y is for why be normal. So it's EVYN Charles, CHARLES.com.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, guys. Go out and make a difference and make sure to celebrate every day. And there's so much to celebrate here for the month of April. We'll see you here on the other side.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.